Today, get ready to hear from Black Americans speaking on pan-Africanism and Black American unity. Check it out.
If your country is led by tribalism, religion, and/or culture, I can almost guarantee you that the vast majority of the people that's living in that society are living under like crushing poverty. I mean, and I'm talking about like little to no infrastructure, shanty towns all across the country. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I noticed that a lot of people who are arguing back and forth with Black Americans have a lot of very tribalistic talking points, and it's always hyper-focused on like their culture, their tribes and stuff like that, that none of that stuff is marketable. None of that stuff is sellable. So if that is like the main focus like of your country, everybody's all so tribalistic and so divided and just fighting back and forth with each other over stuff that isn't even sellable, that nobody even cares about other than you, then your country is probably going to be destitute. People are arguing back and forth with me about culture and languages and stuff that, like, if you're from a capitalist society, like, nobody cares about that stuff. Like, that's the reason why I feel like a lot of Black Americans feel like pan-Africanism does not benefit Black Americans, because all of the talking points are always about what we can do for Africa, how we can build up Africa and help Africa, how we can send reparations over to Africa. And it's like, well, what do we get out of that? In exchange for that, you're offering us a connection to our roots, a connection to our heritage, our lineage. Nothing that can help us, nothing that can help build us up as a people that can actually benefit us, our descendants. Like, I'm sorry, but money in exchange for culture, it's not equal. Like, I'm sorry, you don't have to come with something a lot better than that. If we're actually going to work together in a pan-Africanist type of way, you got to offer more than languages and culture, because there's just not enough value there. And I'm not talking about raw resources that half of you guys wouldn't even be able to tell us where to even find raw resources, don't even know what to even do with them. I'm talking about real economic growth. I'm talking about, people in my comment section talking about, you don't know your language. Who cares? Let's talk about economics. Let's talk about building. Let's talk about making money. Let's talk about stuff that actually is going to build up societies. All of that tribalism talk is the reason why a lot of these countries look like shit. And I'm just being all the way real, because you're hyper focused on culture and all this stuff that doesn't benefit anybody. Doesn't benefit anybody except you and your site. Nobody's buying that. The only culture that's being bought, honestly, is Black American culture. The United States has done a good job at selling our culture to the entire world. But other than that, most countries can't do that. Okay? Like, if you really look at China is like a superpower. They are not hyper focused on their own culture on a global scale. Okay? They're focused on manufacturing. They make everything. Every time there's a new trend that comes out or a new trinket that everybody wants to buy, you best believe that China is on top of their game. They're going to have that product out by next week, because their focus is on the capitalism, the economic part of whatever. They're focused on economics, they're not hyper focused on tribalism and culture. So I have yet to see a society that has all of these tribalistic talking points that is actually successful financially. Get out of your emotions. Those emotions will have you broke, period. I'm not saying that the United States is perfect, but what I am saying is that it wouldn't be so many people that need to flee their country that are suffering. Like, people are suffering and trying to find here, there, and everywhere to go to try to have an opportunity for a better life. They flocking over here. They flock into the UK. They flock into different European nations. It's like they're trying to flee because the focus of their nation is all this corruption, and the focus is not on the right things that will help the society build and grow.
But yeah, my kids know about Africa. They were looking forward to visiting Africa. We all were. But they don't want us over there except for to do what we've done here. They just want to do to us in Africa what America did to us here. They want us to come over there and help them to build Africa. They want our money, whatever money they think we have. They want the funds. They just want the money. They just want us to build Africa. They don't want us. And it has become very clear. And so I say to you, Black Americans, whether you consider yourself Black American or African American, these people are not our allies. They were probably already our enemies, and we just didn't know it. Just like I had no idea that Hispanic people felt that way about us.
And when it comes to the African American and versus the African country and all of, at the end of the motherfucking day, y'all do understand that we were all on different motherfucking boats. Some of us got dropped off over here in America. Some people got dropped off over there in different parts of Africa and so forth. The Latin countries, we were all separated and colonized by one motherfucking group. And y'all get up here and talk about what Americans don't have. You bitches wouldn't have a train, no lights, free, none of this shit without us. Oh, I'm trying not to cuss. None of this shit. Y'all sit here and talk about what the we ain't, like our ancestors ain't lose their lives fighting on the behalf of us. Like our ancestors weren't hanging on fucking trees, getting beat for absolutely no reason. Fighting in the street, not being able to fight back, so that y'all can come over here and live for free, so that y'all can come over here and get benefits that we can't even motherfucking get, so y'all can come over here and build stores, build communities that y'all don't even want to come share with us, and still benefit off the backs of us when we out in the street saying Black Lives Matter. Y'all got me fucked up. I'm sorry. I'm just saying, y'all got me messed up. I seen some girl get out here talking about, y'all just do what y'all want to. You absolutely right we do. We're not asking for no permission. We're not asking, can we do nothing? That's why our ancestors was in the damn street, so we can do what we want to do. Some of y'all like being colonized. We don't. We don't give a damn about them. Stop playing on us. The clothes y'all wear, the hairstyles, everything came from us. Madam C.J. Walker is the fucking reason y'all know what a relaxer is. Go back and do y'all history. We came up with the train tracks. We built everything in this motherfucking country. Our ancestors, ours, had to fight for free damn meals for Black families. Ours was out there sharecropping. My grandma people is from North Carolina, boo. That's where mine was when they were sharecroppers. Slaves. Don't play with me. I'm an 80s baby. I know what it was when they dropped the damn crack in our neighborhoods. My mama got affected. Don't play with us and sit here and say what we don't do and what we don't contribute because we sick of the fucking disrespect. Y'all be off the backs of us. Y'all will betray us in every fucking way to appease everybody that y'all want to be around and then come ask us for help. Stop playing with us. The shit is sick at this fucking point. And y'all sitting here fighting with us and telling us what we don't do, what we don't have. We got culture. If we didn't have none, y'all wouldn't be sitting here keeping coming at us like y'all do. Stop playing with us.
If a Black American person went to the continent of Africa and started all of these fights about how Americans helped to stabilize their country, how America fought for the freedoms that they don't have, Africans would stone your Black ass and run you out their country. But yet you're here. And you're telling us what we cannot do, how we should think. I just watched a live where this lady that wore the hat that declared war on FBA, she's on a live right now, where she's spewing lies, saying that if it wasn't for Africa, Black American people would not have the freedoms that we have. And she's using all reports from Malcolm X saying that these people from Africa came over and spoke with Malcolm X. Support does not equate struggle. Let's be very clear. Our ancestors went through a struggle. Even some of them died. So your support meant nothing. Our ancestors were in the streets, right? Dogs being sicked on them. They were being unalive. You did not help us. Our ancestors, what? Oh, lady. Go back to where you came from.
There was an old interview of Denzel Washington asking, is the sheep preaching hate if he decides he is not going to let the wolf eat him anymore? And if the wolf tries to enter his home, he is going to knock him over the head. Is that preaching hate? And it's like, that's literally what is happening right now. Black Americans are saying no more. And actually, we don't want your reclassified titles. We want to reclaim who we are at our core. Before you came along and began telling us who we were and shipping us around like we were cargo. So where now people are saying, oh, you're preaching division, you're preaching hate, you're preaching racism. No, no, no. I am preaching for my people to finally stop taking the bullshit. Stop settling for the bullshit. And it just so happens that right about now, it looks like a grand division because Black Americans are not just saying it to white America, but we are saying it to all races that hand out disrespect. The ones who want to say we are dangerous, we are violent, we have no culture, we are ignorant, and then they want to also turn around and say, hey, and actually now we need your help. No, motherfucker. No, we're not doing it anymore. We are for our people, FUBU, for us, by us. That's what the Black Americans are for. So we are not preaching hate. We are not preaching division. We are preaching fuck around and find the fuck out.
Pan-Africanism began as a powerful and noble idea. At its core, it was about unity. Black people worldwide recognizing a shared history of oppression, colonialism, enslavement, and racial hierarchy, and working together for liberation. For foundational Black Americans, Pan-Africanism was not just theory, it was survival. It was born from the brutal realities of chattel slavery, Jim Crow, segregation, and state-sanctioned exclusion. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, Black American intellectuals such as Henry Sylvester Williams, W.E.B. Du Bois, and Marcus Garvey pushed Pan-Africanism as a global solution to white supremacy. Foundational Black Americans believed that if African people everywhere stood together politically, economically, and culturally, they could challenge Western domination and reclaim dignity on a global scale. This vision was sincere and deeply rooted in the lived experience of Black Americans. However, that belief rested on an assumption that did not fully align with reality. While some Africans and members of the global Black diaspora did support Black Americans, especially during the Civil Rights era, Pan-Africanism was never equally embraced across the board. Many African nations at the time were focused on their own survival under colonial rule, navigating tribal divisions, ethnic rivalries, and artificial borders imposed by European powers. Their struggles were real, but they were fundamentally different from the struggle of a people enslaved, stripped of identity, and forced to build a new nation within a hostile racial caste system. Colonialism did not only exploit Africa economically, it reshaped thinking and identity. European powers deliberately intensified tribalism and ethnic competition to prevent unity. As a result, the idea of worldwide Black unity often conflicted with long-standing ethnic identities that predated the transatlantic slave trade. Many Africans did not see Black Americans as family, but as foreigners or outsiders, and in some cases viewed them through stereotypes inherited from white supremacist narratives. At the same time, foundational Black Americans were reaching outward, seeking solidarity from a global community that often did not understand their unique historical experience. They were asking for unity from people who still possessed languages, land, lineage, and national identity, things that Black Americans had been systematically denied. It is important to acknowledge that there were a few Black people from the Caribbean, Africa, and other parts of the diaspora who stood with Black Americans. Individuals and movements from Jamaica, Trinidad, Haiti, Ghana, and Nigeria contributed intellectually and politically to Black liberation struggles. Some African leaders welcomed Black American activists and thinkers, and international pressure helped amplify civil rights issues. However, these allies were the exception rather than the norm. The broader diaspora often remained disconnected, indifferent, or divided, prioritizing tribal, national, or immigrant interests over global Black unity. In many cases, anti-Black American sentiment had already been absorbed through colonial and Western influence. Pan-Africanism also failed to address a hard truth. Shared skin color does not automatically produce shared values, shared interests, or shared loyalty. foundational Black Americans developed a distinct culture, political consciousness, and worldview shaped by centuries of racial oppression within the United States. This produced a focus on civil rights, constitutional claims, reparations, and collective survival as a people. Many Africans and members of the diaspora did not share this framework, and in some cases benefited from distancing themselves from Black Americans rather than aligning with them. Too often, pan-Africanism required Black Americans to give first, sacrifice first, and remain patient while receiving little tangible support in return. Economic exploitation, cultural disrespect, and political marginalization continued, sometimes even from those who publicly spoke the language of Black unity. Today, many younger generations of freedmen Black Americans are reassessing that history. We are rejecting the one-sided unity that has been going on for way too long. There is a growing recognition that no group will ever prioritize the interests of foundational Black Americans more than foundational Black Americans themselves. As a result, the focus has shifted towards strengthening internal unity within the foundational Black American community, emphasizing economic cooperation, political clarity, cultural preservation, and self-determination. This shift is not rooted in hatred or isolationism. It is rooted in self-preservation. Unity must begin at home. A people cannot effectively participate in global solidarity while their own community remains economically vulnerable, politically fragmented, and culturally misrepresented. Pouring outward while the foundation remains unstable only leads to further loss. The real lesson of pan-Africanism is not that unity is impossible, but that unity must be reciprocal, honest, and grounded in shared interests rather than emotional symbolism. True unity requires mutual respect, equal sacrifice, and clearly defined boundaries. Foundational Black Americans are now choosing to define ourselves on our own terms, grounded in lineage, history, and specific claims tied directly to American slavery and Jim Crow. Tell me what you think about this topic. Hope you find the information in this video informative. Feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment. Thanks for watching.